welcome back to the Deeply Graphic Design Cast. I'm Nick Longo, your host, and we're going to try something totally different today. I've been checking out so many different blogs and social medias and, forever, right? That's been a big part, I'm sure, of everybody's day, and kind of like checking out what's new and what's hot. Even things that are like somewhat related to our industry that maybe not exactly something we'd be interested in, but there's a link to maybe productivity or a new way of having inspiration for what we do. So I thought it would be cool to try doing a few times a year. We'll do what we're going to call the DGDC Drop. And this is where we can kind of like show off some really cool things that we're all seeing and things that can truly inspire you to try something different, or maybe help you in designing your next project, or even running your next project with a client. So hopefully these things will be really cool. I tried to look through a ton of different blogs and unique things, and this will be quite the visual representation podcast as well. So hopefully you're watching either on Spotify or on YouTube, where we have full video episodes for everything we're doing. But if you're listening to us just audio, I'll try my best to make sure we are covering everything. So let's get right into it. I'm going to go right to our screen here, and we're going to check out what we're talking about. Let's go to window, and there it is. All right, I think we're good. Look at this. All right. How many of you guys saw this one last week? This was a big one that I think I saw first online. I think I saw a ton of people talking a little bit about the Walmart rebrand. And what Walmart did was they unveiled a brand refresh, right? So this isn't a rebrand. This isn't a name change or anything kind of crazy. It was more of a refresh. Think of it as a slight upgrade in what they currently have and what they can change to. So here's just some stuff as far as what they did. And it made headlines because everyone was kind of making fun of it. It was just this idea of like, oh, you just took your asterisk and you kind of bolded it a little bit. You made it a little bit more vivid and a little bit stronger. But they did a little bit more than that. And I remember seeing a few people going like, oh, I wonder what this agency was paid just to do this, right? But if you really look at all of the components and the entire scope of this project, I really love what this agency did for them. So you can see here, obviously the word mark change. They really kind of went back to original Walmart letter kind of word mark that was from their past. And then you can see there's elements of what they previously had, which was the before here on the left. And so I love this kind of like respect to the past, but also what they've done with the newness of their previous one. But the biggest difference, I think, and I really didn't see anybody chatting about too much on here, was the color, the blue. If you look at the previous one on the left and the new one on the right, you almost have to wonder, why didn't they go with that vibrant, rich, bold blue from the very beginning? They went with this one that was a little bit maybe just dull, when you look at the difference. So there's the new asterisk and the new logo. But if you look at this too, they're really trying to create a lifestyle brand. I think this is hugely inspired by when you look at what Target has done domestically here in the States with their brand, and it's just got such an optimistic, fun attitude. And to see Walmart push the boundaries with what they previously had and gave it this refresh, even this fun little mural that they have here, merch and cool stuff to kind of really push the newness of this asterisk and some of the other visual aspects that they are creating within this piece. And here's a great spot of the new word mark. You can see how nice and crisp it is there. And I love that they are feeling kind of, okay to put their stuff on merch and have fun with it. This trucker hat, everyone's got to have the bucket hat. You got to have the tote bag. And there it is. There was the one that everyone was kind of, just going like, wow, really? This is all you did? But a brand shouldn't have to go through the full rebrand, right? I mean, like this evolution of a brand, I think this is really going to pay off for them. I love the vibe here. It even got me to go there last week just to walk around and see if was there anything I'm missing by not checking out Walmart, particularly usually going as a Target consumer. So love this. This is really neat too. they took the asterisk kind of like architecture and it inspired these different ones that look kind of seasonal and really fun and graphic on these tote bags. And then there's a nice, really nice enlarged version of the wall mural that they'll put there. I love this because it shows neighbors, it shows kind of like community. I love that it's hinting to the fact that they have the Walmart delivery there as well with the truck. So they're really putting a lot into this, which I thought was really, really cool. So a great refresh. I think I'm giving this a huge thumbs up. I really love everything that they did here. Again, doesn't have to be brand new from the beginning, but what they can do is something totally new and refresh it like they did. This next one that I wanted to highlight is called Nazcal, and it's a mood enhancing functional spirit. And love, first when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is the wavy font stuff I love. It really works here, particularly with its background, its gradient, its transparency. That's just beautiful. Look at that. This is so really nice. I love this idea. Now this is a plant-powered elixir. It is a zero proof, meaning it is 0% alcohol by volume. It is a functional spirit. This is a huge new industry to kind of tap into us as designers and creatives. I love this idea that we now have another industry to kind of jump into. If you're in the food and beverage space, I'm sure you are well aware that this is happening. And as I got through this, I was like, yeah, this is looking great. But then when I got to the bottles, I was like, oh, these are just super, super optimistic, so fun, really vivid with their colors, bottle choice, everything. I really was like, man, these will stand out. I feel like they almost bring what you see in the seltzer and even in the craft beer zone into the liquor and spirits world, where it feels a little bit more fun and a little bit more animated. I think they did a great job overall with just the personality, and there seems to be a bit of a celebration vibe happening with all of these designs here as well. A great collection, even though this family of looks, if you look at obviously the template or the architecture of the label, it being completely similar per SKU, the way they were able to change it with colors and the background patterns and everything, giving each one its own individual look and feel. It has a combined aesthetic that really, really works nicely. Beautiful kind of solid logo here as well. Really dig the handcraftedness here as well. This is a really fun little kind of add-on, and I'm starting to see this a lot when there's new brand reveals, is this idea of putting almost like a little personality board together that shows copy that you would use for the brand itself, how the logo and the logo system works either together or individually, and then really nice, beautiful examples of photography that would be used within the brand as well. So you can see they've really done a nice job here, showing off a really cool editorial or poster here. Looks great. Some wall art as well. Always got to throw one of those into the case study. And then just lifestyle too. Coasters, social media, how it will present there as well. So this is great. I just love it. And the name, again, going off of mezcal and then doing Nazcal and this non-alcoholic. I'm assuming that's the tie-in there with the NA. Great job. And I'm a big fan of anybody in this space. I think it's really cool to see alternatives that we could do. Just wonderful. So great little story there as well. This one was more of a viral one that I thought was really interesting. And this one woman, her name is Courtney Summer Myers. She's a graphic designer and illustrator, and she has been looking for a job for quite a while, since November 2023. And this kind of sparked some headlines at the end of last year, because what she did was she did something quite clever. And I've seen a few people, and I think LinkedIn is that space to try these things. There was someone who did a resume a few years ago, and her resume literally looked just like the format and the UI of a LinkedIn profile page. That was really simple and really kind of cool and very clever. So what she did was she took her profile pic, and I'm sure you've all seen the way LinkedIn allows you to customize your profile pic by putting open network, looking for opportunities, or whatever it might be. She photoshopped her own and put hashtag desperate. writing her thing with this optimistic, great image. I'm a big fan when you show off a really great image of yourself and get a really good headshot or something of you showing, positivity and everything. But by her putting desperate, the desperate times call for desperate measures, and this couldn't be more in tune with that. And People actually did a really great interview with her about this whole thing and her whole kind of journey as she went through here as well. And it truly went viral. She got a lot of big hits. Doesn't say much about if she really landed the dream job or how good it did for her as far as her job hunt. But these are those things that you never know. Someone might just see this and think that's very clever, and it might just get her higher on the list of someone looking for a perfect candidate in any kind of creative job. And I think, kudos to her for trying this and having some fun with it as well. And I'm sure she's highly talented and everything else. So it's kind of no problem doing that. Have fun with it, stand out a little bit. That seems to be the biggest thing that a lot of folks looking for a job right now are just not getting those callbacks. So what else could you do? Try something like this. I think it was a great idea. Good job for her. All right, this next one, Caliu, I'm going to probably say is the right word. I could be killing that, who knows? But it is a line of natural products, and these are, when I saw this one, what I loved about this was I showed this in my class the other night, and I asked the students to describe this. Do you think it's a high-end product, or do you think it's a low-end budget kind of entry-level, product line? And they were 50-50. In fact, it was silent for a few good seconds because they could not evaluate if it was on the value side or the high-end premium side. And I love that this design agency, whoever did this, what a great, and it's very simple, right? But what a great approach to looking in both ways. And I think we're blurring the lines there as well, because you've got premium brands making more budget friendly, and you have budget friendly brands making more premium stuff. And so it's like they almost came in and just said, we're just gonna live right there in the middle. And I love it because it feels premium. And I think it is when I looked a little bit into it more, and particularly their ingredients and the fact that a lot of it's vegetarian, and there's claims that they make that are, very health conscious. A lot of times you don't see that in the more budget-based brands, but this is a full line of kind of Italian-based things. They have everything from pasta to pizza. I love this. They even have a pesto sauce in the jar, and there's just a beautiful consistency throughout the brand. Here's a great shot of all their pizza ones. I really love this one. I think their food photography, hopefully that's really what it looks like. I'm a big proponent on the product inside better look just as good as how you're presenting it on the outside. I think as designers, that's something we can keep our clients to hold accountability to, because the last thing you want to do is disappoint someone and open it up and find it does not look anything as good as this, because these look fantastic. Love this. Look at how the side of the pizza boxes will stack up and basically form the name over and over again. A really neat thing to consider anytime you're doing packaging is what you can do when they're stacked, or what you can do when they're at retail to enhance and kind of push the brand name a little bit more. Really well done. Love this job. Just simple, beautiful kind of structure and layout, but amazing font choices, amazing color palettes. I'm a big fan. Looks great. All right, next up. So there's a really cool new idea that Adobe has just released a beta for. And what they're doing is they're basically putting together a bulk create prompting kind of, new feature. And what this new AI tool can do is, let's say you've got hundreds, thousands, even up to 10,000 images that all need the same edit. So let's say you are doing a line of sunglasses and they are all shot on different backgrounds. They need clipping paths. They need to be, subject removal or background removal from there. Imagine taking all of those files, and let's say they're in a Dropbox folder. You can now, with one command, meaning you put in a bit of remove background, add a new, you can say, put a universal background on all of these images for consistency and a cohesive look and feel, or a unique color background that you need. And check that out. So here it is. You can literally take all of those together and in one click after you finish the settings in this control panel over here on the left, you can see it says from device. You can connect your storage to it. So let's say it is Dropbox. You can say, here are the options. Remove the background and replace with these particular backgrounds that you upload. And in one click, however many assets you have, up to 10,000, it will do those edits in a bulk create. That's unbelievable. Talk about using AI in such a great way of like streamlining that process, or the grunt work. You know, imagine having to hire or use one of your junior designers to do this for 2 to 3 hours, maybe 2 to 3 days. And now one person can do this in just a click. This is pretty amazing. So it's a beta 1, it's called Firefly Bulk Create, and it will allow you to quickly resize up to 10,000 images or replace all of their backgrounds in one simple click. This is where I think AI makes all the difference, guys, because I mean, like, so much, the demand for creative and the demand for images and social media, and let's say, I know a lot of you work in that field, what a time suck that is. And this would be an incredible way to become more efficient and, you know, take back that time and get to use it more in real good design areas. So this is great. What a cool idea. I can't wait to see this. I'm on a few lists to get some beta stuff early, so I'm anxious to see how this works, and I can't wait to kind of demo it maybe on our office hours. If you don't watch office hours, this is my plug, that every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Adobe's live channel, we do a show every week called Office Hours. It's behance.net/live, so check it out. We're there every Wednesday. All right, here's a really cool one. Oh God, Mixtura pharmacy. This is a pharmacy, guys. Talk about being unconventional and something totally different and new. Look at that fun little mural, and that is just fantastic. I love this vibe. You know, if you're in that zone with a client or an industry that no one else has kind of broken out from the norm of that particular area, as designers, it's our job to maybe, you know, give that a try, you know, drop in something new and fresh. And this is really cool. And the way it has these two pills kind of like, you know, mixed in with the typography of their word mark, their delivery package, they changed the mold a little bit. It's in like this paper bag wrapped up with a little bow. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this is just beautiful. There's a tea mix that they do, the tincture bottles, the bag here as well. Just beautiful. What a great job. Everybody's got to put it on a tote. That's kind of a requirement now. They got some stationery, some motion stuff as well. This is great. It's in Austria. The creative agency was in Vienna. But again, I mean, always looking for these really cool, inspirational kind of, these are like prospectors, right? They went out there and said, you know, for a pharmacy, why does it have to look like everything else? Has it really evolved, you know, in the last few decades? And to see someone just take it and turn it into something a little bit more like energetic, fun, like, wouldn't this be so much more approachable to go to than what's probably in your neighborhood right now? So really cool. Love that stuff. All right. This one's close to home. I have a ton of family that are from Westchester County out in New York, and they got roasted. The city got roasted because there was an embarrassing new government logo, and it resembled something very funny. The Hinge dating app logo. Now this is the logo. This is what they just did. There it is here, Westchester County. Now, you know, there's an H there that looks very similar to the Hinge. So basically, it kind of looks like it, well, no, I mean, like, theirs is a wave, it has an up, down, and back up. And then this is more of just a, you know, what do you call it? It's more a straight line with two tails. Like, it's not really the same. But I think sometimes it's up to us to, like, when we're designing stuff, if we don't see anything wrong with it, show it to a few friends, show it to even family members, folks that, you know, aren't designers, and let them know. I know I had done something on a can design last year. And before I showed it to the client, I showed it off to a few friends going, oh, what do you guys think? I think it's there. I'm ready to present this one. And somebody made a bold kind of comment saying like, man, it really looks like X, you know, a whole other brand that was kind of in the same genre of beverages. And I was like, yeah, you know, I didn't even see that, right? So this is interesting that it's close, but I think all in all, you know, the city logo thing is pretty interesting. Like here's this, I just thought was a little bit interesting. That is their like interesting little word mark. Then they had this one here as well. Never want to like really say a bad design or anything like that, but like I just don't know what this is. It seems a little bit odd. But it's interesting how something that close made headlines. I mean, look at this, it's on the New York Post. It's not even a creative, you know, publication, but it made some waves because it looked too much like something else. So I think the point here is to always remember to make sure somebody else has eyes on something before you show it. The last thing you want is for a client to see this and love it and it be too late, you know, or you just didn't catch it in the first place. So always have other eyes on your work. I think it will really, really help. Again, interesting logo, just say that. All right. Now this one, this could be it's very early in the year, right? But it's my favorite rebrand of the year, 2025, and it's only January. But this is beautiful. This is there's an incredible agency called Love. They showed off this vibrant rebrand for an American snack brand called Back to Nature. I'm huge into this zone, not just because of my work and being into food and beverage, and most of my clients are there as well. But I'm a huge lover of a lot of you know, natural products. I'm vegan, and so I'm always admiring these brands from afar and being like, ah, oh, beautiful done, great branding, great packaging. Those are truly what lure you in, you know, to buy a product, and then hopefully the product itself is good. I've never bought this brand because their old packaging wasn't that appealing, you know, and yet it checked all the boxes for what it was and everything. But here's a great zoom in on this. It's called Back to Nature. This is the new lineup that the agency Love created. And, you know, I feel like this is one of those ones where we're seeing a lot in this zone of like bright, vivid, solid colors, beautiful masked out photography of the food, kind of like drop shadowed onto that color, and then some really beautiful and signature type, right? That's what I'm seeing a lot of in this world, in packaging. But gosh, this one to me just really hit home, and I was like, I loved it because one, I looked at it and I was just admiring it. I didn't even like know it was that brand. There's another shot of it. Here's the word mark. Look at that K with that little leaf in there. Oh my gosh, that R. I mean, this is just, to me, it has such a personality. It's talking to you right there from the beginning. Now there's the old one, and I'll zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the difference here. I feel like this one on the left, and no shade to anybody, but you know, it did feel a little dated. It did feel like, you know, when you go to one of your favorite stores and they have their own brand, the private label style brand, it really felt like that. You know, nature, leaf, the brown and green, and you know, I've been guilty of it too. You know, this is just kind of, it works for that genre. But you know, this brand's been around since 1960, and I did not know that. It's quite hidden there in the leaf on the left. Then they reevaluate and they get to this new level. Big thanks to the Love agency here to do this. And I just look at this evolution. It's just, gosh, this is great. I love everything about this. I feel like this goes to young and old. This goes to mass. This goes to boutique. It really has, it goes right in between, right? It will appeal to all, and yet it's not generic, and it's not doing anything boring. And that's a hard, you know, kind of combination to put together as well. And here's, again, we were talking about that brand board that we saw earlier. Here's a beautiful example of, if you're putting together a case study of one of your recent, you know, projects. I love this. It's a combination of everything: the food photography, the colors, the typography, the iconography, and really great copywriting, right? Tasty snacks since way back. Like, Gosh, I just read that for the first time. I love it. Rich and minty, tastes like good times. Like, oh, this is happy days. Come on, this is so cool. Social media, really amazing here as well. I love when I see this United Kingdom, based in Manchester, agency called Love, and they're doing stuff for our North American brands. Like, talk about like building up a reputation that an agency is being approached by domestic companies and they're going overseas for it. It's like, wow, you know, they're doing their stuff right. So yeah, there's that before and after. Man, total inspiration. I love it. I love it. Love it. All right, next up, last, we've got this. This is a really interesting one from Tech Radar Pro. And, you know, this is testing 50 of the best office chairs for 2025. I know we've talked about this a few times about like tools, office stuff, you know, what do you use every day? And years ago, I had a friend show me, I was actually in London, and my two buddies, they started their own agency and they had the Herman Miller chairs, and I was just like, whoa, what are those? They look like aliens. I was like, that is the weirdest chair I've ever seen. Then I sat in it and I went, oh gosh, how do I get one? Saw the price and instantly went, I'm just not sure if I'm ready for that investment. But then you think of things like your mattress, you think about your chair that you spend hours a day in and everything. And about a year later here in LA, I was able to find someone selling a used one, and it was brand new, and they just didn't like it. It didn't go with their architectural firm's aesthetic. And they bought a few of these, so they were selling them for dirt cheap. I got it, and it was the best. I paid about half price, which was incredible. And I'm telling you, it was the best investment. Still have it to this day. It is rock solid. I look forward to sitting on it. I know it's going to support. I had back problems for years, and once I fixed that, the chair has been fantastic. So here, they went through and they showed some really good ones. So here's their quick list, and they have this one called the Branch Verve that is the best overall. This is looking at budget, this is looking at support, this is looking at everything. The best on a budget was this Corsair TC100 called the Relaxed. Interesting, it's got lumbar and like a neck kind of, looks like it's adjustable in between there as well. This looks really simple and clean. Really nice. This was the one I picked up, the Herman Miller Embody, it's called. If you see from the back, you probably have seen it before. It has this almost like skeleton style like layout. It looks like a spine. It's just wild. I'm telling you, like, I would highly recommend it. Obviously, it is considered best for ergonomics, which is awesome. They have a few more here as well. Best budget one with all of the fixtures and all of the adaptability. The best long hour one. The best task chair. I think that's kind of a fun one to look at as well. And they have links and everything here to all of these ones as well. Best office chair overall. There it is, the Branch one as well. It looks like it comes in some really cool colors. Cool. And this one I believe is, let's see how much it is. I'm just curious. $589. Okay, interesting. Yeah, there it is there. You can see some details to it. It looks really clean. Yeah, not too bad. I like that. Here is a good picture of it. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. There it is. Interesting. That's awesome. Great that they have this. Love seeing all these different things that you can kind of do to make your office and that time you're going to spend a little bit better, you know? I do really enjoy that chair. I'm telling you, if whatever your budget is, make sure you are doing your research and finding the best one. And hopefully you can try it out, you know, obviously before buying it, or return if there's ever any issues on them. But, you know, considering how much time we spend there, I really think that is like the number one thing to make sure you are getting quality time and you're not hurting any kind of injury or starting a new injury because of all that time sitting in a terrible chair. But hey, I want to thank you guys as well for joining me on this one. We'll try to do a few more here. If there's anything we chatted about that you think maybe I missed and something else we can probably bring into a future episode of The Drop, Please drop it in the comments down below wherever you are watching this and let us know what else we can cover. We're looking at some great guests coming into the podcast over the next few weeks, and we're scheduling that together as well. I also want to thank a lot of you guys who reached out over the last few weeks to ask if we were doing well or safe with the LA fires. Thankfully, all good, very grateful, amazing continued support throughout our area and our city. And I feel like we're getting some rain either tonight or tomorrow, so hopefully that's finally behind us. But thanks to a lot of you for reaching out. That was super kind. And as well, please do your best to spread the word and help us get our podcast out to others. If there's anything here you liked or someone that would benefit from checking this out, please like this, subscribe to us so you get all the latest, and share it with anybody you think would enjoy it. Well, until then, guys, we will see you next week. Hope you have a good one, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.